This has been in the storage because I've been waiting to bring these out for my talk show, and that never really happened. It never really got produced because everybody wanted more money than what I had, and nobody will work for free even if it's a good cause. Most people will not work for free even if it's a good cause. Most people. There was a time in my life when that was opposite, but today in my life, living in Los Angeles. So I would like to, knowing that people are very, people better you up because they think you have something that they want. And then when they find out you have a bad day, they'll actually not really like you that day. They'll be really nice, but they'll be like, is this somebody I want in my life? Because people really want the best, and they really want to think that they're a winner. And they want to think that they're better than other people because they're really inexperienced in how to live the soul. And they think that having more is going to make them happier. It keeps them with a distraction, which makes them happy. That's really all that is. It's not really a concrete fulfillment. It's just in the moment, temporal, transitory, and fleeting. So a lot of people are, like I say, chasing the black dragon's red tail, and they want to be prettier than what they are. They want to be better than everybody. And they're attention whores. And they basically are walking down the pathway of saying to the world, rape me, rape me, rape me, because it'll make me feel like somebody likes me. That's how sick some of these men and women are out there. So this is a very pivotal time, I think, in the world to say, who's Jesus Christ, and how did he die for these things when these things really are so absolutely obnoxious? So the first place we begin is refusing to iron our shirts and to tell people we're not perfect today. But we really are, because we feel peace and we have a smile on our face, and nobody can take that away, right? So people lie about themselves because they do feel terrible about themselves because they can't follow through and they can't do the right thing. Often people will say integrity is doing the right thing when nobody is looking. I'm getting to think that integrity is as plain as doing the right thing when people are looking. It's very fascinating how many people get away with doing the wrong thing while people are watching. That's why I say that the picking of friends out there is very slim. Okay, this is 2018. And as long as people can have a little kick in their pants and feel good and have a party and have escape in between working their asses off in their jobs, they will lie. They will lie to their spouses. They will lie to their children. And at the end of the day, they will not be able to lie to themselves because everything becomes conscious. But I'd like to begin by singing this song. Humble thyself in the sight of the Lord. Humble thyself in the sight of the Lord, and he will lift you up. And he will lift you up. Jesus is the Son of God. Jesus is the Son of God. He died to set us free. He died to set us free. So humble yourself in the sight of the Lord. Humble thyself in the sight of the Lord, and he will lift you up, and he will lift you up. So, having a friend betray me, somebody that I was with on the same page, having to do with my mental illness and their mental illness, and being very close to their mother and being kind of adopted into their family, they just decided one day that they were going to tell me to fuck off and they're going to write me off. So for 3 days I've been making this phone call to them, hoping that the answer would be different, and they keep giving me the same news: fuck off. So I don't know what I did wrong. But listen, people are mentally ill, all right? Even if you're out of the closet about your mental illness and you're getting your help and you're being stabilized because of your medication, people that are mental illness that are on the same page as you that should be in effective treatment, they will be so jealous of you that you're finding recovery from out of your mental illness or your drugs that they will actually kick you out of their life, when to begin with they have no friends, because who wants to be friends with somebody who's like a nutcase or mentally ill? So I just learned that today, and the Lord showed me, Tyler, humble yourself. Just because you're getting your PhD and you're dealing with your mental illness doesn't make you any better than that person, because I am better. Because they're relapsing on meth more than I've been doing. We have to get back to the stratosphere where nobody is better than anybody. This is a very important purpose, because people do not like apologizing for being proven wrong. So God is last minute, but God is never too late. Okay, so when I found this friend who's mentally ill, who now is telling me to die off, it was very much so God is last minute, but God is not too late. I really needed this friend. And I prayed for unconditional friendships. Friends that would not be my friends based on conditions, because I have money or I'm a celebrity or whatever. Or I live in Beverly Hills, or I have really good hair. Or even I'm clean and I'm not doing any drugs and I'm trying to regain my lean body mass and to be healthy. I prayed for unconditional friendships, and this was the people that came into my life. Well, they so happen to be mentally ill. So when God brings in a blessing, sometimes God doesn't take blessings away, but things shift and change where your affections or perspectives need to be put on something else other than people you thought that were making you happy, because all is temporal, all is fleeting, and all is transitory, and we all could die on one another. Okay, and Not even your parent or even your child can necessarily be there, for sure. So, in training the disciple, because the disciple is not born, the disciple is trained, you have to work with people for wherever they're coming from. Uh, so, starting the work of yourself and starting the work of your soul and not being selfish and not being a turd opens you to the battle of loving the mentally ill, because you understand what we call the Father's heart of God. And when people keep screwing you over, it does hurt. And in no way uh, is this an accredited way to let somebody know you appreciate them. These ways are very, 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 very blinding in people, because when I prayed for this friend and this family that would be unconditional, I prayed out of neediness. And so, behold, Christ gave this to me. But in all the work that we have to pertain to when it comes to celebrity and creating our legacy, and now celebrity doesn't have to mean you live in Malibu. Okay, celebrity is self-worth. That you are no longer the shit, you're like a smartass, the best, nor are you shit underneath somebody's trailer park. Okay. We want to use the creative social sciences and the social arts, like film producing, different modes of actorship and film versus stage, movies, the silver screen, theatrical, the world stage, dramatic arts, YouTube, open social science media commons like Twitter or Instagram or Facebook, television programming, the civic society, politics, and all the social psychology of men that makes us so connected. And having all these things under whatever speculation and fear and suspicion that somebody is going to have an opinion, or they're going to steal or rob something from you because they're mentally ill, and they're jealous of you because maybe you're taking care of yourself and you're no longer doing crystal meth or drugs, and they really hate you. You have to make the inquiry about yourself and your masculinist theorem and your masculinist theory from a social scientist perspective, not necessarily from a New World Christ Church Christian perspective, but from a movement of pornography, a movement of men where we're allowed to push the envelope and we're allowed to be the bad boys club. Laura Bush is okay with it, and so is Bill Clinton. So you also have a predatory, perpetrator, and pedophilic society. And in the pornographic element of this, it's very difficult to find that everything is free in life. So you have to throw everything up and let everything know in you that in your might you can throw everything up in the air until it falls down onto, for me it was my Hamilton admirers or friends of Tyler, that I wasn't yet going to be a prophet or a psychic or a social scientist until I uploaded 400 videos and had somebody rape me. So the reasons why we do things at a certain time has a different clock with God. And God is last minute, but he's never too late. But in the titillating and the tantalizing with being in Beverly Hills like myself and all my retreats right here, it could be Anderson Cooper or Andrew Cohen or some other gay celebrity that sees the spiritual cementing that we're trying to do through social alchemy and social transformation. Forgive me for not looking more into your eyes. I'm just thinking out loud, and I have my notes in front of me, that there is a new world thinking, and that is taught in an academic place through Tyler Hamilton University College of Social and Behavioral Sciences, or my private practice, The Giant Balloon, motivational accountability, life coaching with counseling alternatives. These are things that I kind of bring up in many of my videos, and please pardon me for reminiscing, but in America, it's about title, and it's about, you know, having some type of degree that makes people believe that you are worthy of employment, a livelihood, housing even. The American dream is based on the approval system. If you're not approved, you don't get the job. If you don't get the job because you didn't go to the right school, because you weren't approved or qualified to go to the right school and to be admitted into Harvard, then you don't get the good job that can get you from out of the ghetto. Or maybe you don't even get a job, and so you decide to sell your body, or you're selling drugs. To you, you're just an artist and this is eccentric. But not all of yourself needs to be dominated by this type of underclassed thinking. Even though I teach that nobody is better than anybody, when you willfully are trashing yourself in a Maui Wowie whore cunt in your mouth culture, and you have potty mouth, and you don't have anything positive to say about anybody that's brought you into the world, or even your mother, you need an attitude adjustment, and this is not the hipster pimp that I'm looking forward to working with in one of my shows. We have to see ourselves as more of being not so much a cock box bitch, but to be made to know that we are worth more than being faggots. Ladies and gentlemen, it's trending to be out and be gay, be shock rock. But people are not happy because they have not humbled themselves, and that is the song. Humble thyself in the sight of the Lord. You know, you can be a liberated mind and a bellboy at a hotel and go in and out of the rooms with the clients, the patrons, the guests. But it doesn't mean you're staging anything too creative for the entertainment industry unless you're getting it filmed. Whether you're a cult leader, whether you're a trendsetter, whether you're wanting to be like me, a Mel Lady Gaga or something, but then go back to scholar and academician and professor, we can all help ourselves become creative beings. We don't have to envy one another and badmouth one another if somebody doesn't give us something we want to be told and we believe they have something we want. So now we speak very mean and harmful words to them. This is not a social alchemy production when we do that. That only would come out in comedy or shock rock. But in the actual lecturing and university work, I gotta fill up my coffee one moment, please. You want to separate, compartmentalize your art from the drama that you might be undergoing because of your mental illness, because of getting off of drugs, because of coming out of the closet and telling your kids that you're gay. You've been hiring male escorts for all these years behind their mother's back, and now you want to get a divorce with your mother. So you know, that alone sounds mentally ill. For the men that I work with, they would say, you straight men, or wherever you're coming from, you obviously must be mentally ill. So going around and classifying everybody as mentally ill is not the way to go, because it is way out of your stardom. You want to be a star? Hell yeah. So the caca is coming out of the ass like pancakes. So you can lose as much weight as possible before you go to your audition. Ah, but you did the poor and the bad thing, and that was you hurt your own feelings by putting yourself on methamphetamines. And here's why, because you're an actress for Ford models or elite. Ba 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 ba. For you to suck on the stupid bitch. That was your fault. What bitch am I talking about? Your mind. You're sucking on an idea that you cannot unwrap your affections away from. And so you are in profound experience that you need something exemplary. And so you go to your highs and you lose your weight and you get paid well in modeling. But let's make a cabin in the sky, right? Sorry about the webcam, it's frozen. Hello? Okay. Let's make a cabin in the sky where you're going to end up. You have to talk about that. You have to know that if you want to enter a cafe society, you have to do more. You have to do more than feel sorry for yourself. The Word of God says you have to show yourself approved. It's a study and show yourself approved. When you study in social justice studies, you study the society and the things that you must learn in college, and the inside alchemy, the change that you make. You study the self, and that makes yourself approved. It is a sick society of going out, trying to create fans, trying to create friends by the money you spend. But you're only pimping out yourself as what? A pathetic hipster. Because you're confused, because you haven't humbled yourself before the Lord. Look at your feet, as I've said, and see between your toes. That is your path. Your wonderful path as the manifestation of where you just stepped into. And that is where you are. It's where you think you're best and where you go forward. That's your path. Everybody is always trying to find the potential greatness out of life. But they need to realize there's no tick-tocking going on. The goodness is right here and right now. And you are the talent. All is going to come out clean in the wash. Because you can humble yourself before the Lord. So this is basically all our notes for the time being. And it's been really marvelous to touch on a couple of points that I think are really important for you. And in closing, I'd love for you to learn this song so when you're away you can sing it to yourself. Humble thyself in the sight of the Lord. Humble thyself in the sight of the Lord, and he will lift you up, and he will lift you up. Jesus is the Son of God. Jesus is the Son of God. He died to set us free. He died to set us free. So humble yourself in the sight of the Lord. Humble thyself in the sight of the Lord, and he will lift you up, and he will lift you up, and he will lift you up.